Taking a look today at the Reeve knives Umnumzaan. So Umnumzaan roughly translates to chief or head of the household from Zulu. This has a tanto blade of magna cut steel, and it is hardened to 63 to 64 Rockwell. We've got that nice deep hollow grind that we know and love from Reeve knives, as well as this stout tip with the tanto blade here. The tanto of the Umnumzaan doesn't quite have a full harpoon. The drop point does, but we still have this little bit of relief up here and some really nice functional jimping. The thumb stud also doubles as a stop pin in both the open and closed position, and we've got this really nice lock bar here that has some really good access to it. It can be a bit sharp, not sharp, but it's very pronounced. It really will eat into your thumb when you use it, and you get something between opening it like that and closing it called Thumb is something that you may or may not have heard about. But the Zaan is probably one of the most kind of cult following of the Reeve knives, I would say. More than any of the other models do I see these sell out so quickly on the secondhand market, and I can really see why. They're relatively slim. They're really nice ergonomics. The texturing that milling adds for some nice texture on the handle scales. The ergonomics are great. It's just everything that you want and need in a Reeve knife, and it's got some excellent action. Really good flipping open action, more so than the Inkosi or the Sebenza, I would say. If I had any criticisms of this knife, it would just be, that lock bar isn't my favorite, but, it's still great. It's perfectly functional. And, but the bigger problem I have is the way the clip lies just on the lock bar here. And what happens is that when you are going to disengage the lock, if your hand like me is gripping right here, well, then you're kind of fighting yourself. You're pushing against the lock bar and you're pushing against here. But that isn't enough to really deter people from really loving this knife. I mean, this, again, it's the quintessential high-end hard work knife from what I've seen, at least in my community of knife people that I've seen. And we have this really nice, this Reeve logoed over travel stop with that lock bar as well, and a nice glass break there. So people will ask often, which Reeve knife do I go with? The Sebenza, the Inkosi, or the Zaan? And if you look at the translations roughly from Zulu, well, the Sebenza is the worker, the Zaan is the head of the house, but the Inkosi is king. Special thank you to WeBuyKnifeCollections.com for letting me take a look at this. If you're into high-ends and customs and want to see something you've probably never seen before, go check out what they've got at WeBuyKnifeCollections.com. Thank you for watching.